Hey chat, it seems there have been some problem during the last stream. Uh, Press 1 in chat if you are here so that I can know. Yeah, sure, we can take some time here. Let's wait for others to join. Okay, we have gotten 8 viewers. So during the last stream, we have created the create user function and these two utility functions to get all the user count and to find users. Press 1 in chat if you have followed up till now. Till everyone joins, if you have any question about the smart contract or Ethereum in general till now, you can ask in chat. Okay, I will continue for the demo, and let's create the remaining functions. Okay, so since we have created our create user function, we need a function that can return us the data about users that are already present in our smart contract. So for let's create a function get user. This is also going to be a view function, and for the return type we are let's just return all of these three: ID, number, and favorite number. Also, you need to use the memory keyword when you are returning data also. So to get users detail, we will take in the user ID, and for that user ID we can just simply return the data. Now for the given user ID we need to find the index in array, and here we will use this function. Let's say uint. So we can get the index by passing in the user ID that we get from the user. And then we can just uh, using the index we can get our data from the array. So we are done with our get user function. Now let's move on to create the function that will help us update the values for any given ID. So uh, like we access the data using index in our get user function. Similarly, we can access data and assign new values for it. So let's see how we can do this. Now to update our user, we will need the user ID and the fields that we are allowing updates for. So we will allow user to update both the name and their favorite number. So let's take those inputs. Okay, so we have gotten all of the inputs. Now we need to find the index, and I will just copy this. Okay, so this is going to be ID. Now we just need to reassign the values for that user in the array. Okay, so our update user function is also complete. Now we just need to complete a function which will delete an existing user. So to delete an entry in the array, we can just use the delete keyword, and we can get index similarly. So to delete, we will just need the user ID. Okay, let's start that function. So we have successfully created functions for creating a new user, getting the details of an existing user, updating the details of an existing user, and deleting an user. So our smart contract is complete. Now let's just quickly test it in the VM environment here, which is provided by default by the Remix ED. So you just need to deploy here. Okay, so it is deployed in the VM. Just say name is ABC and the favorite number is 123. Okay. Okay, so our transaction has gone through, so we are able to create a user. That's good. Now let's get the details for it, and here we can also get the details. User count is 1. Now let's try updating the details. Okay, the user count was 1, so That's there. On for the name, let's say ABCD is our new name. New favorite number is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Simply. And okay, so this transaction is also gone through. And here we can see our updated values. So our smart contract is working as expected. Now, if your smart contract is working uh, similarly, you can press 1 in chat. Otherwise, if you're facing any issue, type your issues in chat. Okay. So since there are no issues, let's deploy it into our testnet. So change this environment to injected provider by MetaMask. This is okay. If it says no compiled contact, you just need to press Control plus S. And otherwise, if you want to do it through UI, you can go to this Solidity compiler option, which is the third from top, and you can compile it from here also. But if you are saving your contact by Control plus S, it should compile at the same time. It seems there is a problem with my MetaMask. I will just restart this window here. If you are if you also face some similar issues, you need to restart your Chrome window. After restarting, my MetaMask is working, and in the environment I can see injected provider. So let's deploy it to the testnet. Okay, I will just confirm this transaction. Okay, so we have gotten our deployed smart contract here. We can see all the functions and the address. Now keep this address in a safe place because we will be needing it again to interact through our UI. Uh, have you deployed your smart contract? Press 1 in chat. Or if you are facing an issue, type out your issues. Okay, so since our smart contract is now complete and deployed, uh, let's move on to the front end part. So the front end is already designed. You have to go to this repo. You can find the link for it in description and just clone it in your local machine. Okay. So I have already cloned it here, and here we can see there are components for creating user, deleting user, getting the user, and updating the existing users. In the utils file, you will see all of the smart contract interaction code. This is the code for connecting our front end with MetaMask, and the functions are defined here for creating user and all the various functions. I will just install all the dependencies and start the development server. So this is a Next.js application. To run it, you have to enter npm run dev. Okay. So our application server has started and the wallet has been connected. So okay. So this is the UI. Now we need to integrate it using the utils folder. Okay, let me just explain the functions that are already present. So first of all, we have a connect with MetaMask. This you can use this function to connect your application with the MetaMask installed on users' desks Windows. We are using Ether's library for it. Now to get to know more about how you can interact with users wallet, uh, you can go to the ethers documentation, and we are using v6. In the getting started section you can see all of the different code. So this is what we are using to connect our application with the MetaMask. And these are the functions you need to um, so everyone has cloned this repo in your local machine. Plus one in chat for it if you are if you have cloned this repo and connected your application with MetaMask. Yeah, sure, sure. Okay, in the starter repo, you will find that the components for create user and update user, and okay, so the component for creating new users, deleting users, and getting the data for these, they are already integrated. So I will just go over them quickly. We are using let's go to the create user thing. Okay, so we have just imported from our utils folder. We have defined states for name, favorite number, loading state, error, and success state. And this is our function to handle the submit. Okay, and here you can see we are making a transaction using the create user function. We are passing in the name and the favorite number, and if it is successful we will just log out the transaction. This is the form on submit. We have defined the handle submit there, and these are all the functions to just update the state. Okay, now let's complete this create user function, and now let's see how you can interact with smart contracts through ethers. So for creating user, we are going to need name and favorite number. So that is okay, done. Now just to make sure that the application is connected, we can just call connect with MetaMask again. Now we need to create a contract instance, and to create that we will need the deployed smart contract address and the ABI for our smart contract, and we need to put it them in here contract refs. Let's go back to our ethers file and the remix ID in the deployed contract section. Okay, this is our contract address. Paste it here, and when you go to the compiler section, here you can access the ABI for your smart contract. Just copy it from here. Okay, so we have successfully entered the contract ABI and contract address. Now we can create the contract instance using ethers. Let's call it contract. So we are going to use the contract method from the ethers library, and and we we have imported the contact address and contact ABI from the contract refs. So uh, just pass in those, and depending on whether the function is a write function or a read function, we need to provide either signer or provider. Since this is a write function, we will provide signer here. So our contract is now ready, and now we just need to create a transaction. To create a transaction, let's call it transtx. Okay. So for creating a transaction, we have taken contract and then call the function that we want to call. And also we need to pass in the number, sorry, name and the favorite number. Now if the transaction is successful or if it fails, we need to console log to check its status. So let's just console log that. And let's just return the transaction object itself. Okay. So I will restart the server and check if our create user function is working. Let's say A B C D E in our name. Okay, let's just say Priyanshu. And favorite number, let's just say 7. Okay, so our transaction has been okay. So we have successfully created our user. Now, now we need to complete the get user thing to check if our data is actually being stored. So similarly for the get user, I can just copy this from here, and the changes that we need to make, our contact is going to be the same. And okay, so we need to create different function, so we need to change the name here. It is get user, and okay. So for the get user function, I guess we need the ID. Yeah, so we need the user ID for it. Let's just take that as input. Also, since this is a read function, instead of signer, we will provide the provider. And instead of returning transaction, we will format the data that is coming from it and return it in the suitable form. Uh, Instead of transaction, let's call this user. Okay. Now this user object will have all the details for the user, but we are handling the data in a specific way, so we will change the return type here. Let's just provide an object. It has ID, name, and favorite number. So for the ID, it is simply user and the zeroth element from that array. Now Solidity works with big number, which we cannot uh, use simply like this here. So we will convert it to string. For name, it is going to be an integer which JavaScript can easily handle. So we just need to provide a user and one, which is the index for the data. Favorite number is again going to be big integer, and since we cannot work directly with them in JavaScript, we will need to employ similar strategy here. Okay, I will just copy this, but the index is going to be 2. Okay, and instead of calling it user created, we can call it user details. We also need to update our variable, which is user. Okay, it looks good. Now let's see if we can get data in our front end. Let me just refresh it. Okay. Oh, nice. So we are able to get the ID, name, and favorite number using the ID of the user. Now let's complete the update user function. Yeah. So I will just complete the update user and delete user functions now. So for update user, we will need user ID, new name, and new favorite number. Okay. Just to make sure again we are connected. Now instead of provider, we again need to provide the signer because we are changing the state of blockchain through this transaction. Now in the contract instance, I will just pass on the values that we have taken as an input. Okay, so someone is chatting saying the code is not visible. Okay, let me just create increase the text size. Is it visible now? Okay, let's go further. So, okay, we need to pass in all the data. We can just copy it directly. Okay. For this, we can just return the transaction object, and let's just also console log the output that we are getting. Okay, our update user function is now ready. Let's move on to delete user. Okay, I will just copy the general structure from here. Okay, this is we need. Okay, we will need signer for this, and okay, we need to change the function name. Also for delete user, we will just need user ID. Okay, so our update user and delete user functions are also ready now. Let's test them in our front end if they are working as expected. Our user ID was one name, let's just say from Priyanshu. We can change it to let's say Ankit, and favorite number is also changed to 8. Okay, it seems there is some error. Let's try again. Okay, I will have to inspect it here. Hmm. Let's look back at our update user code. I will try by restarting the development server. Okay, we are connected. What could be the issue? Okay, let's see if the create user is working still. Maybe there could be some issue with the transactions. Okay, so it is working. Hmm. Okay, let's start. Um, maybe there could be some issue with the development server still. I will give it another try. Okay, so it is refreshing. Maybe there's some issue in the component. Oh, okay. Okay, so actually the update user and the get users button, these were like meant to be the assignment for this workshop. So I have given you the function for it. You have to integrate it using React. Okay. Okay. So the function is here, and when we go to the update user component, you can see there are no like states and function to handle button click, and so you have to integrate that function here, and also you have to integrate get total users count. For this, the states are here, and you just need to write in the function for it. So it is going to be very similar to how we are using the get user thing. And remember to change the response, which is going to be in big integer, to string, so you can display it. After you have changed it to string, you can change it back to a normal number in JavaScript, and by doing that you can work with numbers. Okay. uh, is the assignment clear? Type 1 in chat. Okay, now I will just quickly discuss what you will get if you complete this assignment. Okay, so there is a Google Forms link given in the description for this video. I will just open it here. It will be the first link in description, and you can see some details like your name, your email, uh, mm, GitHub link for the repo, the wallet address in which you want to receive your bounty funds, and the contract address that you've deployed in the base testnet. And if you are able to deploy a website, you can provide it here. And as mentioned earlier, first 20 successful submission will receive 5 USDT as a bounty reward. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this session. We will be conducting 2 more sessions, and in the later sessions, the bounties will be up to $20 per person. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any issue, uh, if you are facing any issue currently, just type it in the chat. We are live for some time. Okay, so everything seems good. So we will end this session here and stay tuned for the next one. Please make sure that you submit your assignments and claim all your funds.